And Dean Smith, who has gone all year with just 7 men. Hoping that his team has enough bounce to mount a comeback. Jason Martin, 64% foul shooter. Martin with just 2 points today, but 8 assists. Texas Tech will shoot 2 the rest of the way. North Carolina has committed 10 team fouls.
Jason Martin sadly lost a brother, Todd, this last spring to pneumonia. He passed away, and Jason Martin's dedicating this season in the memory of his brother.
Calabria inside. Finally, it's knocked out to McGinnis. Forcing one. And there's Petit. And a foul on Carter of Carolina. Very upset as he reached in and stripped the ball from Tony Petit. That looks like Carolina's going to make Texas Tech finish this off at the line. 3:08 to play, and the Tar Heels fouling.
Texas Tech, a 66% free throw shooting team, and this is the strategy that you want to employ at the end of any ball game that you're behind. Extension of the defense, double teaming, trying to pick up the pace of the game. 3-point shooting.
Don't forget to stay with us for more NCAA second-round action following. You'll see either the Santa Clara, Kansas game or the Texas Longhorns and Wake Forest.
Come on, man.
The team making 1 of 2. A 17-point Texas Tech lead. Vince Carter. Calabria holding it. And big rebound by Petit. He's fouled again.
Number 15, Vince Carter, whistles for his.
Well, Texas.
Everyone talks about Kentucky. You go down Cincinnati, Danny Fortson, Louisville, Denny Crum, Arizona, Lute Olson. It's a great time of year. Saw an interesting stat coming into this ball game. Texas Tech.
Seed remaining in the West against the Broncos of Santa Clara. 18:20 left in the first half. 1 basket. That was a 3-pointer by Jared Haas. There's Steve Nash, number 11. He'll run things for Santa Clara. Now inside. This is done underneath. Won't go. That's blocked by Pollard. And here come the Jayhawks.
Great work inside by both teams.
LaFrance.
The Broncos must get back on defense, even though Kansas has a big front line. Those fellas all run very, very well. Important for the Broncos to not give up easy baskets.
This is Sedlock. Rebound Haas. Quickly to Vaughn.
Words Vaughn and Quickly just go together very easily and smoothly. Vaughn looking to push it every opportunity he gets.
Pass now. LaFrance. Over Sedlock. Jayhawks are out to a 7-0 lead.
Sedlock at 6'7", LaFrance 6'10", 6'11". Using his height advantage very effectively on that possession.
Nash against Vaughn. That's short. LaFrance comes away with it. Vaughn quickly. Down low to Pollard with a jam.
And Dick Davey wants a timeout right away. They're going to take it 20. The Kansas Jayhawks can get the ball inside as well as run in transition. Too easy on that particular possession. Jacques Vaughn with a great pass.
Well, let's run through our starters for Santa Clara. Graves, the transfer from Cal, anchors the middle. Dunn and Sedlock at the forwards, and in the backcourt, Nash and Marlon Garnett. Arizona awaits the winner in the Sweet 16.
I think it's important for Santa Clara to get some points on the board early. You don't want to get yourself behind by 12 or 15 points to a Kansas team.
Barnett for three. Dunn comes away with it. Throws it away. Hess. Uncontested. 11-0. Kansas.
And Steve Nash holds up his hand and tells his teammates, let's just calm down. They're down 11-0. It's extremely important they get a basket on this possession. Offensive foul. And Haas drew the charge, and he got hit in the nose doing it.
They get Graves. That's his first.
Haas comes with the help and just really gets an elbow right under the chin. We're told that the Kansas players went someplace to see the Tyson-Bruno fight last night. They probably saw a few of those coming up under the chin in that particular event.
Pierce. Dunn in the air, and he's fouled. On the floor for Kansas, all 5 of their starters in double figures. They got that big front line. Frentz, Pollard, and Pierce. Vaughn and Haas in the backcourt. We want to remind you that in just a few minutes, we'll be sending some of you to see Texas Wake Forest. That's a 5:08 tip, and we'll keep you up to date on this game. The score and highlights. Pierce now, 57% foul shooting.
That Texas-Wake Forest game features the second game of the day between the state of Texas and the state of North Carolina. The first one, Texas Tech and North Carolina, working out very well for the state of Texas. Haas sitting over there on the bench looking for the Tooth Fairy, maybe.
Second one doesn't go. Graves comes down with it. Here comes Nash. Off the screen by Zurich. Three is short. Robertson, who's checked in for Haas, comes down with the rebound. And here's Jacques Vaughn. Robertson. Graves pulls it down. Nash to Zurich on the wing.
Zurich is an excellent three-point shooter.
Santa Clara's first bucket.
1 for 10.
That came at 15:11 on the clock. Here's Vaughn in traffic. Dunn, the outlet to Nash.
Well, that's a tough pass.
Pollard is right there. Vaughn as Nash tries to catch up. LaFrance knocks it down from the foul line.
LaFrance can shoot it from.
All right, early score 14-2. All Kansas in the first half early on. We'll keep you up to date on this game. Want to send you out to the start of your game back in Milwaukee at the Bradley Center. Texas and Wake Forest coming up on CBS. And we'll send you out to Billy Packer and Jim Nance right after this, Roscoe.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz, Bud Light, AT&T, and by Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Texas Tech staying with their big people, and Jason Sasser knocking down Charlie McNary with an elbow, and Sasser picks up the foul, his second. And now, getting the ball back, here comes the platoon. Two platoon basketball, huh?
Now, you know, early on, Coach Smith, before the institution of the 35-second shot clock, he used to platoon teams in, and to rest his first 5 would put in a blue team and designate only one player to shoot, so they might get in and take the ball, run 4-quarter, and take 4 or 5 minutes off the clock while the first team rested, and unless that player that was designated to shoot the ball got it, they didn't shoot at all.
Boy Smith. Corey Card, as they picks up the foul. 10 team fouls now on Texas Tech, so this will be 2 shots for North Carolina. This has had to seem to Tech like the second half that just won't end. They can taste it. They played so well, but these last couple of minutes, they have to really work to finish this. Shawn Williams. Georgia and Syracuse advancing out of the Albuquerque region. Syracuse one of 3 Big East teams. Georgia one of 4 from the SEC. That's the laser.
We are in Milwaukee for a second round matchup between the Texas Longhorns, 21-9 on the year, the 10th seed in the Midwest, taking on the number 2 seed, Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons, 24-5 already on this floor today. A surprise is Louisville ended Villanova's season in the second round, and Louisville will play the winner of this one. Texas and Wake Forest coming your way. Hi, everybody. Jim Nance, along with Billy Packer, and this Texas Longhorn team won on Friday night against Michigan, 80-76. They have a couple of exciting players, a scorer in Reggie Freeman and a bruiser in Sonny Alvarado.
I think you put it right on the money there, Jim.
I think on that initial substitution and getting all of the reserves in, Coach Smith realizing that there might still be a small chance to jump back in this ball game, especially after the missed free throw, inserted the starters, but now the lead back up to 20 points with just over a minute left to play. This is virtually over.
Charlie McNary of North Carolina fouling, and now James Dickey will start to make some bring some reserves in. Stan Bonowitz in, Janae Cooper, Jason Martin, and Tony Battie will sit. Well, the Red Raider fans are about as supportive and loyal as any group in the country, and they gobbled up the available tickets for Richmond. Texas Tech.
How many of you had Texas Tech on your brackets? If you did, congratulations, and advance them on, beating North Carolina. It's 91-70 now, still a minute and 11 ticks left on the clock. Over in Milwaukee, they're about to tip Texas and Wake Forest at the Bradley Center. Game just underway right there. Here's Jim Nance.
Freshman for Texas, Clack, was jumping center, but controlled by Wake.
The other thing is to watch Rutland early. See how he's moving on that with that knee and that heavy brace.
LaRue inside, and Wake Forest, just as you draw it up, scoring on its first possession, basket by Sean Allen.
Beautiful touch pass by Rusty LaRue off that cut.
Clack back out.
We're talking about a team that takes 70 shots a game, so there's no question about what Texas wants to do.
Reggie Freeman forcing the action and draws the foul against Ricky Peral. So Freeman doesn't have a real strong shooting percentage from the outside, but he averages about 23 points a game.
No, Jim, you're right. He shoots 38% from the floor and 32% from 3. But I said again, he's a scorer, not a shooter. He figures out ways to get it up there. What's got to happen here today, there's a real contrast in styles. Wake Forest has only had 2 teams score over 70 points a game on them all year. Maryland and Florida State. And, of course, we know that Texas is a team that likes to score and run up and down the floor. So something's got to give here. Full court pressure. Nice fill by LaRue. Beautiful passing. Hand check, so it's going to be called tight.
What usually gives when you have that contrasting matchup of styles?
Well, I always go for the team that plays the solid D. You know, I think it's hard to blow a team out that's played solid D all year long. And, of course, if you're Texas, you want to get it started early, as Freeman does there with a great steal.
And so there are now 15 seconds left. You saw the beginning of one game. You'll see the end of your game up on the left-hand side corner there. Clock ticking down, and North Carolina goes down by 20. The subs are in right now. And Texas Tech will advance in the tournament and will meet Georgetown in the Sweet 16. And that's why they're smiling. 2.5 seconds left on this. This big surprise, Clark Kellogg?
I tell you what, just because a lot of people didn't know about Texas Tech, but if you watch this game, you saw a display and a clinic in terms of attacking pressure, hitting the open man, knocking down threes. and then making your free throws as North Carolina tried to mount some type of comeback.
Sweet 16 a little lonely without Dean Smith. He's been there 15 in the last 16 seasons. Let's go back to Milwaukee and Texas and Wake Forest. Tie ball game now, and Billy Packer and Jim Nance.
So we have a contrasting matchup of styles. Texas likes to play up-tempo, and it really has been a little up-tempo here in the first 2 minutes.
Clack with great quickness and anticipation. You have to be careful when you're throwing the ball in his direction.
Duncan fouled by Alvarado.
Alvarado got stuck that time with Clack and couldn't get over to Duncan, who was wide open. So far, you see LaRue handling the ball a lot, Jim. He's seeing the open men very well.
Tim Duncan, who will not turn 20 until next month. 67 straight starts for Wake Forest. The ACC Player of the Year.
And tournament MVP as well. Straight man-to-man. Let's watch this matchup on Freeman.
Clack outside, freshman, right on target. Three-pointer.
Jim, Clack was not starting earlier in the year. He only was averaging a little under 9 points a game. But since he's gone into the starting lineup, you're looking at a guy that's capable of averaging about 15 or 16 a game.
First McDonald's High School All-America ever recruited to the University of Texas.
Bad place to pick up your dribble against this team.
Underneath.
Boy, there are some strange matchups out here. That time Hill gets caught on parole, giving up about a foot.
I was watching underneath as Alvarado and Duncan have an interesting chess match trying to get to the blocks.
Well, Alvarado would normally be a tough guy for Duncan anyway. A little bit smaller, great strength.
Rutland, he has never made a tournament, a shot in the NCAA tournament from the field. Now 0-14 in his career. Hill.
Good blocking out by Texas.
Freeman gets it back for the Longhorns. Charge.
Alvarado and Freeman just shocked Wake Forest inside. They've got quite an advantage in strength when you take a look at the athleticism on these two teams.
This is a Texas team that probably looked at the draw last Sunday and said, oh my goodness, if we get to the second round, we've got to go against another unbelievable big man. The last 2 years, they faced Juwan Howard in the second round. He had 34 points against them as Michigan prevailed 2 years ago. And last year, Joe Smith had 31 points as Maryland into Texas this season in '95.
Now here's a man, Jim, that has really stepped up. Without Peral the other night, Wake Forest was in trouble. He's showing more aggression than we've seen in years.
But look at the other end. Freeman firing the three. 11-7 Texas.
We said they wouldn't take a lot of time to take a shot. Two different philosophies here. Wake Forest has not been able to get the game going down and low. You got Vasquez stuck over here on a mismatch with Duncan, and they get by with it.
So here it's ACC versus Southwest Conference. Over the top, Duncan. Duncan lays it in for two. We've already seen one such matchup today, and Texas Tech whipped North Carolina in that Southwest Conference ACC battle.
Expect to see Jordan in here to lean on Duncan a little bit early in this ball game, too.
Black foul on the way to the hole.
Tremendous advantage in quickness for Texas in this ball game.
Duncan called for that foul, his first. Tommy Penders, in his 8th year, taking Texas to the NCAA tournament for the 7th time. Before he became coach in Austin, Texas had been to the NCAA tournament only 8 times in school history. Now he's taken them 7 out of 8 years.
Only missed in 1993 when he was 11-17. A terrific job. And, you know, 20-plus games he's won each year.
Dave Odom, his 7th year at Wake Forest. He's been the ACC Coach of the Year 3 of the last 6 seasons. And he's taken Wake to the tournament 6 out of 7. So Clack hits them both, and Texas in front by 4.
Another.
All right, Texas leading 23-19 here and shooting a remarkable 64% in the early going. Duncan, again, battling a virus, 2 points, 2 rebounds, but still in the game.
Well, Jim, he normally plays 38 minutes of basketball game, with the exception of the other night where he just had to sit down and didn't ever come back in that second half. Jordan posting up on him down low.
Freeman, three. Got it.
Even with Duncan coming out. Now, Rusty LaRue had a great game the other night defensively against Paul Marshall, but Freeman has got about 2 inches on Marshall, so he can shoot right over LaRue.
We were talking earlier about Texas Tech from the Southwest Conference beating North Carolina today. This Texas team also beat North Carolina during the regular season. Game down in Austin. Beat them by 2.
The game that Alvarado played terrific basketball, down to 8 seconds.
Swatted out of bounds by Freeman. Goolsby was driving.
Goolsby, an excellent outside shooter, but he had the move there that shows you Freeman's quickness and ability to come from behind.
Carlton Dixon checks in for Texas.
Jim, just 4 seconds on the shot clock with that block. It hadn't hit anything yet, so Wake's going to have to get it up quickly.
LaRue looking inside.
Got to go up with it.
Yep. Goolsby, 3. Back of the rim.
Good
Long
job.
Rebound, though, to LaRue.
Second time today, LaRue has been in the right place at the right time on a long rebound.
Duncan, down inside. Goolsby to the line for 2.
Excellent pass by Tim Duncan on the inside.
Second one on Randy Perriman. So 2 on Clack, 2 on Perriman.
Duncan's biggest assist night of the year was 9 against Florida State. When you look across at some of his stat lines, I mean, his normal night is like 22 points, 14 rebounds, 3-4 blocks, 4 assists. I mean, he really piles up the stats, but just not quick right now, and certainly not up to par physically.
Goolsby, who had an outstanding ACC tournament, makes 1 of 2.
Now let's look at the matchup. Freeman on Crawl. Freeman loves to play against it. He gets a double screen here.
Good pass. Vasquez inside. Dixon right into the game and scores.
Against Duncan. So Duncan 3 times has tried to block shots inside. All 3 times somebody scored. 2 by Clack and that one by Dixon. Look at Jordan just pushing Duncan any place he wants to move him.
And a steal by Texas.
Quickness.
Randy Perriman to Freeman. Texas with its largest lead. 10-point Longhorn advantage with 9:25 to go in the first half.
Dave Odom saying his guys are getting hit, but what it is just quickness to the ball by Texas. And the inability of Wake Forest to get the ball down to their post man. Here's a triple team.
Duncan, though, with all the players around him, misses the soft hook. Vasquez comes out with the rebound.
Texas loves to push that ball up the floor.
They do a good job of it, too.
They do. Excellent.
Freeman.
That's what I said. Not a great shooter, a great scorer. Probably an ill-advised shot there as well as his team is playing right now with a 10-point lead.
He has made 3 out of 5 today, including 2 threes. Back to Goolsby, stuck for a moment. Duncan in the paint for 2.
That's a pretty good power dribble there by Tim Duncan and put him right on the floor. He's just not running normally, bending over, very tired.
Right there.
Solid screen set up by Jordan, and he fouls Goolsby.
Yeah, too solid. So that one called on Dennis Jordan, his second. That's going to be the double bonus. Brings us to the double bonus. So Wake will shoot 2 the rest of the half. Jordan sits, and Alvarado back in.
Wake Forest, one of those unusual teams, Jim, shooting more free throws than their opponents have attempted this year. One of the reasons they've been so solid. Worked their way into second place regular season in the ACC, and of course won the ACC championship. Early on to be behind and be shooting 2.
Rebound out to Lamont Hill, brother of Thomas Hill, who played on championship teams at Duke University.
I'm sure he saw a lot of Wake Forest Duke matchups watching his brother on TV in the years past.
Alvarado from the outside. All Wake underneath, especially LaRue.
LaRue looking to pass as he did from his quarterback spot in football. There's that dangerous cross-court pass for Wake. If Freeman was almost there in time to catch it himself. No Duncan in the ball game right now, so Wake's got to change their plan.
Perall, 3. Allen keeps it alive. LaRue, he'll shoot at long range.
Real advantage now with Duncan out of this lineup and Rutland not able to show much offensively. You can see his movement there defensively. Just can't swing that big brace around. Texas in control.
From the start.
Yep, they've been in control the whole time.
Texas, the 10th seed in the Midwest bracket.
Tommy Penders likes that 10th seeded position. He took him all the way to a regional final from the 10th seed and back in 1990.
That foul called against Wake Forest. And a timeout on the floor. We'll be right back.
A tradition unlike any other, the Masters on CBS Sports.
To the floor with possession, leading by 7. Wake will pick up 3/4 court.
Jim, a relatively low-scoring game when you take in consideration Texas wants to run, but they've had control of it, getting about what they want anyway, even though it's not a game that looks like it's going to be up in the 80s or 90s.
Reggie Freeman.
Boy, he had a nice square-up look there, not even guarded. You're talking about leading scorer in a league, left uncontested from 18 feet.
He has 13 now for the game.
Good double team by Texas, picking up, keeping that ball out of Tim Duncan's hands. Jordan doing a nice job staying in front of him.
Braswell gets the roll.
But it looks like it's going to be Braswell as opposed to Rutland. Rutland sitting on that bench really hasn't shown any signs he can get it going. And Jim, as you pointed out earlier, has not made a field goal in an NCAA tournament in 2 years.
0 for 10 in 3 games last year, and including a miss today. 0 for 4 in the first 2 rounds this year.
And that's kind of scary when you're talking about the second leading scorer on a ball club.
Hill caught off balance, and Duncan secures.
And challenging Duncan, they figure Wake Forest not going to try to run on him. Braswell can be an explosive scorer.
Ball gives it up, and Duncan. Man, you talk about a foul. Dixon wrestles him to the floor.
And he wanted to make sure he didn't get the layup up. They're not going to call it intentional. Figure that he was going for the ball some. There he is going for the ball, but afterwards pulled him down. I don't know if I'd agree with that call, Jim.
How many points would you get for that move in real wrestling?
You know, after the play, he pulls him down to the floor. Now, they make a mistake here. It is not on Freeman. It's on Dixon.
And they got it Dixon's first.
Yeah, Freeman thought he just picked up one. He wasn't even in the play. He's 32, Dixon 33.
So, based on what you've seen here, Billy, as we near the end of the first half, Tim Duncan, 75% or less?
I'd say less. I really would. I've seen the young man play an awful lot of ball games, and I would say that he's down 50 to 60% of his normal.
He makes his first free throw in 4 attempts. Texas 6-point lead, 2:20 to go in the half.
And of course, Rutland is about 20% of his normal. So here's a team that is not that deep anyway, having its 2 key players really saddled for different reasons.
Freeman with Perall on him again. Sets up, shot from the corner. Rebound.
That may be the 3rd foul on Duncan.
Sheldon Quarles missed the baseline shot, and that does go against Duncan.
That's his second?
His second. He does not normally get in the foul trouble.
No, he does not get in foul trouble at all. As a matter of fact, in the ACC tournament with 6:57 to go in the semifinals, he picked up his 4th. Dave Odom was asked why he didn't take him out. He said he's played enough to know what to do in those situations because the young man is a very intelligent basketball player.
2 for Dixon.
Well, Dixon came in with that big